Hey everybody, this is Richie from the Metal Side podcast. First of all, I want to give a shout out to our main sponsors, Rise and Sons, the award-winning brewery in Cork. Lads, if you're down in Cork, do give them a holler and check out the beers that are on there. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised at the array of original Cork lager and beer. Seb, you coming from Germany, I think you will appreciate it more than anybody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I'm delighted to welcome Uragh
Was
to
by
the
the way.
show. I've got Seb, I've got Marcelo, and I've Craig. How are we, lads? Thanks for joining me.
All good. All
Thank you for
Grand,
good.
having
good.
us.
I'm having my
Yeah.
glass of wine, chilling out on my day off.
Yeah, we're kind of excited. I'm excited to talk about to see what we're asked, and like I said, to see how we disagree and agree with each other over a Zoom call.
Well, yeah, I mean, so Seb, you're from Germany. What part of Germany?
From down south near Stuttgart.
Okay. And what
Tiny
did you,
little university town called Tübingen, if anyone knows.
anyone famous from around that vicinity? What about
Uh,
metalheads, metal bands?
oh yeah. Actually, yeah. There's some Destruction,
Oh,
most notably.
Schmeezer, Schmeiser,
Ah,
Schmeiser.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Did you ever drink in his
Um,
bar?
huh?
Did you ever go? He has his own bar, I think.
Yeah, but no,
Okay.
never been there. Hold on. Then another death metal band called Atrocity. Do you know
I
Atrocity?
have, yeah, I've heard of Atrocity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus, man, that's pretty good pedigree from that area.
Yeah. Then we have this new metal band from Freiburg called Farmer Boys. Anyone knows Farmer Boys?
As in
Like a
Farmer,
yeah,
farmer.
Farmer.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
They were kind of big in the 90s, maybe just a German thing, anyways. Hold on, who is from who else is from down there?
Destruction
Um,
and Atrocity are pretty impressive. No, none of the lads from Tankard or Sodom or any of those bands, no. They're
no,
all
Tankard are from Frankfurt, and Sodom are from Gelsenkirchen, which is Schalke,
yeah,
territory. So
okay.
that's out west.
Mm.
So yeah, so the western area in Germany, the Ruhrpott area, pretty working class, used to be all coal mines and stuff like that. Lots of unemployment.
Mm.
Now, in the 80s, all the famous German thrash bands, they were generally from around there.
Ah, very interesting.
Creator, Sodom, and then Destruction there from my area. But yeah, so it was mainly all happening out west.
Mm.
But yeah, I know there's some bands from down south for sure.
And there was a good scene there when you were growing up.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I got into metal when I was, I don't know. I mean, it started with like 91. I was like 10 years old, and Guns N' Roses, Metallica,
Okay.
Nirvana were happening. I got my hands on a Scorpions tape. Of course,
Oh,
being Germans, I mean, it had to be
yes.
Scorpions. I
Yes.
mean, check out the 70s and 80s shit. It's still
It's
savage. Like, I
brilliant.
love it.
It's fucking
Yeah,
brilliant. Yeah.
right? Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, then some dude like fifth grade. I was maybe, I don't know, I must have been like 10 or something, or 11 maybe. Handed me a death metal kind of mixtape, and it had like first song was Dayside, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, and Tiamat, we call him Tiamat. I don't know if
yeah.
people call him Tiamat.
Yeah.
Obituary, Morbid Angel, and then like boom,
That
this
was it.
whole world of aggressive kind of extreme metal opened up for me. And yeah, I mean, mid 90s scene was good. I played in a death metal band called Forgotten Eternity.
Oh, I love it. Name check.
Actually, there's one.
Is
I
there a
have to
demo or
send it to
anything
you.
there?
There is one
Wow.
live track from 1996, and I
You
don't
will
think I've
have
ever shared
somebody
it
on
with
the
you.
show. You will have somebody on the show looking for it. Like,
Yeah. No, I will send you the link. It's on YouTube. Someone uploaded it. I have no idea how. Like it,
Can I
it was
just say he
recorded live.
has never mentioned this before?
Yeah, first time.
Yeah,
Never mentioned this to us before.
class. And how
So
old were
we're
yeah.
you,
gonna dig up
Seb?
that.
42.
No, but how old were you when you were playing in the band, that band?
I was like, from maybe like it was at the time we recorded this, or that was recorded. It was maybe 15 or something.
Wow, fuck. That's young.
Yeah, like long hair down to here, like mad into ball thrower, and still
Oh,
these bands are these bands are still kind of with me to this
Yes.
stage, you know.
You never
Overlord.
forget those bands that made an immediate impression on you, especially the likes of Bolshoi. Fucking hell.
Fucking hell, right? Yeah, and
Unbelievable.
I don't know, and I still kind of look for that sound, and you know, it's really interesting. And Marcelo and Craig and Jason, they have, you know, they have a different background
Yeah.
in heavy music and different I don't in different genres and all that. And it's really interesting how we kind of influence with the shit we're into and how that informs our music as well,
Yeah,
you know.
definitely. I mean, we'll definitely get to that. Marcelo, you're from Brazil,
Yes, from São Paulo.
São Paulo.
Yeah.
Great area, yeah.
Yeah,
You're
amazing.
happy childhood growing up.
Yeah,
Greg,
yeah.
man, no, give him, show him a bit of respect. That's the problem with us Irish. You'd say sometimes like they don't give you enough respect, like you have to earn it.
No. Yeah, of course. You're grand.
But yeah, talk to us about São Paulo growing up, man.
Yeah, São Paulo is a small town in Brazil, in the South Hemisphere, like 20 million people.
Yeah, small,
So
right?
yeah. So yeah, for me it was kind of when I was 12 or 13 that I had my first contact with music, and I always liked music, but I didn't know anything about metal. And the first time that I had a contact was seeing a friend of mine playing the acoustic guitar, playing like Come As You Are, and I didn't even know who was Nirvana or what song was that. And I just
Oh,
like saw him playing that, and I was like, I need to play this because it's like something with that riff. I was like, what? And then everything started, and I started with like very soft bands like Nirvana, then went from Guns N' Roses and System of a Down.
and were you
And
trying to figure out guitar at the same time as you were
yes,
listening?
exactly. Since the
Okay.
beginning, playing. So my mom got me an acoustic guitar from my aunt, and I was just like figuring out and learning new bands and playing and so on. And to get into metal was quite fast. Maybe in the first year that I was like just playing, I started like to learn all of the bands. And during that time was the start of new metal, you know, so metal was
Oh,
getting pop again. I remember it was when Metallica released also the Saint Anger,
yeah, yeah,
and I had that album. I bought that album, and for me it was a big thing because they were doing that at that time, you know, that I was discovering everything. Like,
yeah.
and for me it was kind of pretty cool. And yeah, and
And
then
do you know, we'll say access wise to music back then, was it just your local record shop had everything, or was it just again like what Seb was saying, tape trading?
yeah, so there was the tape trading, but I didn't participate of that. So in São Paulo, we always have some like cores of bands and a scene, if you will, right?
Mm,
And we had like this kind of a mall, which is called the Galeria do Rock, which was like a place with all these record stores and T-shirts, and everyone that was into rock and metal went down there.
yeah.
So great place to meet people, to know new influences. And you could walk down a record store and they would like, you know, you tell what you were up to and they would recommend like great stuff, and you meet
Yes.
people.
You forget that, wouldn't you? The lads behind the counter that would be recommending stuff.
Yeah, at that time was the start of getting more access to internet and being able to listen stuff, but there was no YouTube. Basically, you could start to download songs here and there, but it was not very easy. So yeah,
E-Donkey, or what were you using?
yeah, it
Kazam.
was Kazam,
Okay,
this one,
Sam,
and
Kazam.
yeah.
so sick or something like this,
It's
yeah,
Soulseek, yeah, it's still
yeah,
around. Yeah.
Is it really?
yeah. So
Yeah, no, Soulseek is still going strong.
Wow,
Yeah.
fucking hell. And what about the scene then, Marcelo? Was it like a lot of,
well,
like Seb was saying there, was there a few bands in that area where you were that were in their teens starting to kind of make a name for themselves, or were you just hanging around going to gigs at that time?
yeah, there was always bands, but you know, since Brazil is kind of so far away and it's not like one of the first stop for big bands in Brazil, and at least São
Oh,
Paulo was
right,
always a
okay.
big thing to have cover bands, you know. So
Okay.
tribute bands and cover bands was always very big because the bands we always loved were the chances of seeing them
Mm,
for many reasons were like much lesser than being on Europe or in the US, for example.
yeah.
So, but there was always like a overall scene for the bands. There was always like big bands coming from there, from São Paulo, from Brazil in general, but from São Paulo also we had quite a few bands coming there. But yeah, it was kind of a mix.
And what was the first big band you
Aren't
saw?
Sarcophago
So
from Sao Paulo?
who? Sorry?
Sarcophago?
Sarcophago.
Oh, sorry.
Sarcophago. Thank you.
Sarcophago,
Yeah,
I-
like some 80s kind of black
I don't know if they're
metal
from São Paulo. I'm not
thrash.
sure.
Ratos
they're
de
from São Paulo.
Patatas.
Yeah.
Great punk
Sorry?
band. Ratos de Patatas.
Ratos de Porão.
Okay. Oh, well,
Yeah,
there you go.
they're going to play.
Butchering the names there.
Butchering
And they
it.
were, and I guess you asked like which was the first big band that I saw, and
Yeah.
this was Judas Priest. Which I
Oh,
was a big fan, and I saw
man.
them.
Jesus. How old are you?
I am 35.
So when did you see Judas Priest?
I was 17. Yeah, I was like,
For fuck's
Yeah.
sake, like
yeah,
you couldn't see a better band now as
that was
the
great.
main guy.
Yeah, it was great. He entered with a motorcycle on the stage, and I was like just a teenager. Yeah, and then I knew, and I want to do this
Yes.
eventually.
Yeah.
Enter with the motorcycle.
Just go to the motorcycle.
Entering with
The motorcycle.
So Craig, at the moment you've a Honda and you're upgrading, are you?
Yeah, definitely. We'll get there. Don't worry, we'll
You'll get there, yeah.
He's got
Craig-
the leather though. Like,
So Craig, your background, I don't know much about Outbreak. Let's go back to where it kind of really
God,
roots for
Outbreak.
you. Are you from
Outbreak,
Dublin originally, are you?
Yeah, I am. I'm an Irish boy. I'm Dublin, yeah.
What parts of Dublin?
So, from north, Clonshock area.
Oh, Clonshock, okay.
Outbreak was formed, I think about 9 years ago, about 8-9 years ago, something like that. It was just me and a bunch of friends from school, and we kind of trying to find a sound. Everybody trying to bring their own influence on their own, or bring their own influence into the sound. Some people didn't work out. Some came and went. Way bands go at the start. Don't like it. Okay, move on. Fair enough. Outbreak. It was good. It was really fun. It was my first time playing live in front of people. Playing in Outbreak, we played in Metal to the Masses, and we had fun. Yeah, it was good. I
What
enjoyed
style
it.
of music was it,
But
Craig?
It was kind of like metalcore.
Okay.
That's kind of like my kind of background. I like metalcore, but
Yeah.
thanks to being involved with the rest of the lads in Uragh, I've been exposed to a lot of new music that I probably never would have found by myself, which
Yeah.
it's amazing.
That's
And I
class,
hope
yeah.
I have given them music as well. I'm more likely haven't, but maybe one day we'll get a band. One day I'll find a band that we all like eventually.
There's someone out there like
you did for sure.
surely you'd all agree on Gojira, because I can hear a bit of Gojira going through all of your veins.
So
Yeah.
band wise, we all really like would be Gojira. We all really like Mastodon.
Yeah.
We all absolutely love Deftones.
Mm.
Deftones is a big one. Just
Yeah.
it's very rare to find to find a lot of people together that actually love Deftones.
It
It's
is
very
actually,
strange.
yeah. There's a kind of a different era of Deftones as well that separates fans, isn't there?
Yes. You can talk to Marcelo about that. He is the biggest Deftones fan here by a mile.
Yeah, and we'll say in rehearsals and stuff like that, do you often just fucking rehearse a few covers of Deftones? Probably Marcelo's driving that, is it?
We do.
We have.
I always start some riffs there. I always start My Own Summer and be
Him
quiet.
and,
Okay.
be quite enjoyable. It's him and Jason that normally started off, and then
Oh, really? Yeah.
Seb kind of try and join in a little bit.
Okay, let's give a shout out to Jason, actually, who isn't here. He's the drummer. How did you come across Jason?
Well, do you want to talk about that, Marcel?
Yeah, so when I was starting to form this idea of band, I was looking for all of the folks from the band, right? And I eventually crossed with Jason first.
Mhm.
I found him on boards.ie.
Okay.
And in fact, this is funny because Deftones was one of our first subjects about this conversation, right? So we start talking. I gave him the idea of performing at the band, and we try to find things to bond with each other, like similar musical tastes. And Deftones was one of the first ones there.
Yeah.
We're talking about this, so this was pretty cool. And during a long talk of our first conversations, we were talking about Deftones and some other things, and then eventually this fortified the idea of, okay, let's go and jam and see what this comes through. And
Okay.
Jason's a big Man U fan also,
Mhm.
so I'm sorry that
Jesus
he's not here.
Christ,
Yeah,
why did you stain the show with
yeah,
that fucking name?
yeah,
Anyway, moving fastly on.
yeah,
But like, Marcelo, did you join Sectile? Or
yeah.
Sectile established at that stage, and then did you come in and join
I
him as a
joined.
Okay.
I joined. Yeah. I guess Sectile, they were formed in 2016, if I'm mistaken, and I joined then in 2019
Mm,
after their previous guitar moved to Germany.
okay. And what did you learn about, being in Sectile that you brought to this band, for example?
Many things. I got to know a little bit of the scene. So I joined in
Okay.
2019, and this was mid 2019. So I got a good like 9 months before COVID hit.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
able to go. I was able to record a video with them. So I was also able to go and play in some places in Dublin, also Limerick.
Mm,
So I got to know quite a few people besides the Sectile folks, right? It was a good
yeah.
experience.
Right. Okay. And which one of you now has the production values to record music between you all,
Production.
Marcelo.
Marcelo?
That would be Marcelo for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
definitely.
sure.
Production values is in recording, using Pro Tools or whatever like that to whatever
Okay.
you use to record. You learned that as you went along, Marcelo.
Yeah, yeah. Just learned this for started recording my own things, and then this eventually with years it came up to be like quite a skill.
Mm,
But still, it's not on the level of being an actual producer, being able to record like
okay.
professionally or in a good standard. So that's
Yeah.
why we wanted to go and find someone that can help us with that side also.
Yeah. Well, you certainly settled on a great guy with Josh. Shout
Oh
out
yeah,
to Josh, as
Mhm.
always on the show. It's rare that
yeah,
he doesn't get a mention, every third
exactly.
episode. It's just like,
Where
we should have a
where
drinking
Josh is
game
that?
every time fucking
Yeah,
Josh is mentioned on the show.
yeah.
People all over the world will just take a fucking drink. So how
Jesus.
did that connection come about?
With Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so then once we started to play and started to see that this was coming true, of course we wanted to come to do some recording,
Mm,
and we started like mostly the three of us, I would say, started to look for options, right? And started to see, okay, where we can go. There are
right.
some places that are the standard ones. So yeah, we had a few places in mind, but then we also had Josh's one, and we were at the same time we were playing to Metal to the Masses. So
Okay,
we
was
were
that
meeting,
coinciding with it? Okay, okay.
yeah. Then we were meeting quite a few other bands.
Yes.
The one that were wearing the shirt, for example. And
Levain, yeah.
Mhm.
yes,
Top
and
lads.
I don't remember exactly how we set it up with Josh, but
Uh, it's probably word of
I
mouth,
think
I'd say.
we just wrote emails and
Mm,
talked to a few guys, and I mean, and I think the options of people who kind of produce this music in Ireland is somewhat limited, at
yeah.
least.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what
So
I mean?
yeah, you're right, yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm,
so and I think Josh was, when it came to conversation and approachability,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
he was I don't know, we
He
just liked
to me
how he
he was super
communicated with us.
interested. He was super
Yeah.
interested in recording this because
Okay.
we sent him demos of our songs
Which was the
that
Sampley one.
exactly. Well,
Yeah.
almost all of them, yeah. Would be
Mm,
Marcelo, yeah.
yeah,
Almost all of
send
them.
him. But this was a
And
big
he
thing because how he was talking. I showed guys look at him
yeah,
like he's all interested in.
Yeah.
yeah, he did seem very interested in it. And we're like, okay, we could record something in Dublin
Yeah.
where it could be a guy mightn't take as much interest, or else we can travel to Northern Ireland where the guy is kind of similar to our age and he actually really has an interest in recording with us. And he's actually a super lovable guy, just super nice, real chill, relaxed guy as well. Yeah, he's really nice.
Yeah,
Obviously,
he has a
there's shout out.
Yeah, he has a perfect balance of like, he's super kind, and he has a good balance of like being chill and laid back, but he produces when he has to, and he has a really nice way of doing that. I really enjoy.
That's actually important. You know what? It's such an important thing, and I'm glad you brought that up, Seb. You know, because sometimes lads wouldn't have ever be in a professional studio. You know what I mean? And they'd be nervous enough as it was going in there anyway. You know, the build up to it, and the pressure, then the added pressure, because time is money ultimately in these situations. So yeah, it's a good point about him, that he's, when he has to produce, he has to produce, but he's also he's on your side, like.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And yeah, just a super nice way about him. You just feel comfortable with him, and I don't know, I just love hanging out there anyways. And it was also a cool thing for us to travel up to Belfast. I had never been to Belfast.
Great city.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. It's an interesting city for sure, and it's cool for us to go on a little road trip and hang out a few days in Belfast and hang out with Josh. And yeah, it's
like, let's talk about the collection of songs that you had with the run up of approaching Josh. You released a demo, Sampley, which had 3 songs on it, wasn't it, lads? Was it 3? Yeah,
3.
Yeah.
Was it Decimate?
Decimate, Modiama, and Monolith.
Monolith.
Yeah. But this we didn't do with Josh. This was just like for showcasing before Metal to the Masses. So this we did ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
This was, so Marcelo made all the instrumentals, and then I just did the vocals. Like we just did them from home. We've no real experience in like high value production, so we just went for it. And I surprised you by doing that, Marcelo, as well, didn't I? I kind of
it was blue. Yeah.
I just thought I'd do it. I was trying to, like, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks maybe into joining the band, and I just kind of want to surprise them away, or just to show them what I was willing to do as well, you know. So yeah, it turns out okay. Trust me, what we release next will be much better.
Of course. But you know what? It's nice that you put it up on Bandcamp anyway, because I'm always one to say, always never be ashamed of your old stuff. It's just the journey to what you have now, you know, and it's always good for fans to look back and check it out. And I want to talk to you as well, Craig, about your lyrics, especially the ones that you made available to those that go on Bandcamp for Sampley. That's
what one's talking about there now?
That song Modia Mott.
Modia Mott, yeah. It's a crazy ass song. It's a song about mental health. Put it that way.
Yeah, because I was watching the video of ye playing Metal to the Masses, and there's that section in the song which is absolutely powerful, where you're singing a harmony must be established between opposing sides to find a tranquility. And it's not actually singing, my mistake. It's actually you delivering it.
It's kind of like a little speech in a way.
Yeah, it's a speech. Yeah, and you know, stuff like that always sticks in the mind of somebody that doesn't knowing about a band, we'll say, especially me that didn't know much about you, but I'm watching Metal to the Masses on YouTube and I'm going, fuck, that is a brilliant part in a song that will just cause people to stop fucking talking and just go, holy shit, look at the singer here. He's fucking getting a message across, and you know, you're pointing at your head, and you know, it's a brilliant delivery, man. And maybe just
appreciate that.
Talk about the whole way that idea formed in relation to the delivery of that part of the song, and you know.
So when Marcelo first showed me these, he gave us 4 songs at the start, or he sent me 4 songs, and we were only talking about this yesterday. Messaged him yesterday about it, saying when I first listened to them, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit intimidated by them because of the high production of what I thought was high production, and the length of the songs as well. My DMA is just over 10 minutes long, I think. And I've never written anything
Of course,
that
being a
long before.
metalcore boy.
Exactly. It's normally like 4-minute songs, So it
Yeah.
was definitely a step up. But I felt as if the sound of the music felt too good to pass it. I had to give it a try, put it that way.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of that song, that Medea Mott song. Very, very proud of it. It was a point in life, in my short life, that it's wasn't great, but I think of it, I got a great song out of it. I think anyway. I think I got a really good song out of it.
Yeah, especially the lyrics, as I said to you there. Monolith as well. Nearing the end of our species' reign, ancient scripture said we're all to blame. Looking back to find the conclusion, abandonment is the only solution. Maybe just talk through that. Like, will any of these songs, well, obviously fucking Medea Mott will definitely make it on 3P. I'm fucking hoping, lads, but
Mott will be out there, don't worry.
Yeah, should be. What about Monolith?
We haven't agreed on Monolith. Monolith is cool. Monolith is a song that I think we played it live twice only. I think we've only played it live twice. That's it. We still like the song, but I think Monolith was one of the first batch of 4 songs that we had at the start that Marcelo gave us. But ever since those first 4 songs, every song that we've written since then has just climbed the ladder. We feel as if we're getting better, so much better. I know, like I said at the start, I was very intimidated by some of the length of songs, and especially the time signatures of the songs that he was giving us. But I feel so much more confident in writing towards. I only finished writing one of our songs on Saturday, which is going to be our 9th song, and then we have 2 more songs in the on the backlog as well to be able to practice and perform it. So all in all, we have 11 songs, but 9 are almost ready to go.
Yeah. Seb, over to you. We'll talk about maybe the 3 songs there on the demo. What were your feelings initially when you had a look at Marcelo's work on those? Was there a lot you felt you could bring to him, or?
Yeah, I mean, same as Greg says. Like, obviously, very intimidating. It's like, in a way, it's like always the initial reaction when Marcelo presents like new material or new ideas. It's like, oh fuck, like fuck you, like, because especially for Jason, it's even worse because like trying to like make up drum parts for that shit is just insane.
Yeah.
So, but in a way, it's such a challenge. The first songs Marcelo presented to me weren't actually part of that, or only one was part of that sampler.
Okay.
So that was Decimate, that is out now, properly recorded and all that.
Yeah.
And that was the song that I initially really loved. And the other ones, as I said, like, were really kind of modern sounding and not really the kind of sound I was like looking for when it comes to heavy music.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to dive in there and try to come up with bass parts for that, as much as it was intimidating. But we were a while into the band, Craig wasn't there yet, and he came up with Maudit Ama, and Maudit Ama, I think, raised the bar from what he had come up previously, because I could tell we were having lots of discussions about bands that we both loved and bands that I loved, and Deaf Heaven was a big part, for example. He was just getting into Deaf Heaven, and I could tell that Maudit Ama was written when Marcelo kind of expanded his horizons as well, and I could really the song really reflected that, and I was like, I could exactly tell what he was trying to do there.
Okay.
So that song resonated with me so hard, because I could just really tell what he was feeling and what he was almost thinking when he came up with these riffs. So I think Maudit Ama was the kind of first song where we felt like, oh my God, we're kind of shaping our identity here
as
through
a unit.
this song. yeah, through this song. And I think Modi Ama was the kind of song that took us on a path, and all the songs that followed kind of build on that.
Yes.
And that's why you also say, like, for example, Monolith is a great song and we love it, but Monolith doesn't necessarily fit into that path. You know what I mean?
It doesn't reflect where the band are now.
It doesn't really reflect it.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the moment, Monolith, as much as we love it, and I hope I'm not saying anything wrong, guys, but it feels kind of like B-side material, or, you know, like a rarities kind of thing, or a standalone thing. But I don't think it will end up on.
I think Medea. I don't want to be defined by Medea Ma, but I think Medea Ma gives you something very, very interesting to listen to.
Yes.
There's parts in the song that you do not expect at all to come.
Yeah.
Like there's the soft part, the first verse, the soft part, and then it kicks into the really heavy riff with like the big roar or scream, whatever you want to call it. And it's literally like a punch to the face. And then you have the outro is nuts as well. It's beautiful. Has like parts of like has like elements of mercy and grace in it, as well as aggression.
But I think that Modi Ama was good for embracing the weirdness, also for sound that followed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But where it comes to it on its own is live, as a live entity, the way you approach it as a band, it's fucking incredible. Like, it's powerful, it's emotional, it's everything that's focused in on ye as a band, a journey, correct? And the onus then is on you as a frontman to deliver that feeling for the fans, for the people that are there, and you fucking do it in spades, man. So Craig,
it's not just me, it's the whole band, you know. It's
I'm not saying that, but
it's very
ultimately
important.
it's people will focus on the frontman and the way you can talk that song through.
And believe me, like we were all floored. Like, I mean, you rehearse, and you know, he's doing his bit, but when we had our first show, that was the first heat of Metal to the Masses back in February. That was our first show ever.
In February this year?
This year, yeah.
Really? That was your first show?
Yeah, maybe it's even the performance you saw on YouTube. I don't know.
No, I think it was the final I saw.
It's the one from the final, yeah. But we had no idea what he really, like, how he delivers as a front man, you know?
Brilliant.
Like, literally, we were all like, what the fuck's happening here? Like, I didn't know. So we were just equally as floored as many people in the audience.
We have a bunch of videos, like, of us playing live, but I don't really look at the videos of us playing live. And I've said it to these guys before. It's because when I'm on stage, I think I'm a different person. I just get into the music. I feel it, you know. You're there.
You become a different persona to the normal person.
Exactly.
And that's the magic of music, isn't it, lads? The magic of songwriting and being in a band, you know. It takes every one of you to a different place, like.
Of course,
for sure.
Yeah.
And Seb, how did you join the lads? Did you meet Marcelo or?
Yeah, so I moved to Ireland in 2021, and being an old fuck, you know, 2 kids and shit, you know properly settled, you know, I was like, you know, like, fuck, this is a new city. There's so much. I mean, I knew Dublin well, and I knew Ireland from before, but I was like, there's so much talent out here. You know what, I'm just going to give this a go, you know, and maybe I will be able to play in a band again, because I hadn't really played in a band since I was fucking 21 or 22, you know, so it's been like almost 20 years of not playing and not performing. So, like, I didn't even know where to look for that shit, because I don't really use social media, you know. I don't have Insta or Facebook. So I was like, do people use Gumtree around here? So so I posted an ad on Gumtree, I think, or I found your ad on Gumtree. Yeah, no, for real. Huh?
Yeah, you found mine. And luckily I was looking absolutely everywhere for people.
Yeah, so
everywhere.
There you go. So yeah, I found you there, and I liked your influences and whatever. I don't know. We met for a pint. and we hit it off, straight away. And
were you
boom.
playing bass right through, Seb? Did you bring your equipment with you, or what kind of equipment even had you at
I
the
brought
time?
I brought my bass from Germany. I usually play guitar,
Okay.
but during COVID, I don't know, I was like, oh, I need to play more bass because I really love bass. So
Hmm.
I kind of abandoned the guitar a little bit and started playing more bass. And I was like, I want to play bass in the band for sure. So I brought my bass, and I have my little orange amp. But apart from that, not having played in bands for ages, I didn't know. I don't know shit about gear, and so I told Marcelo like, hey, I can play the bass all right, but I don't know much about gear, and I really have to get back into this shit. And he was like super, super helpful as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just slowly, I don't know, building up my pedals and whatnot, and also not trying to overdo it as well.
I
But
wouldn't, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. That's the biggest problem with you now, Seb. It's just like there's so many distractions out there with what you can get now, pedal wise and everything like that. Maybe just to keep it simple
yeah,
often is the
yeah,
case,
yeah,
you know?
exactly. For
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, yeah. I have a distortion pedal, my Rat.
yeah.
I use a delay pedal and I use a
Oh, the rat,
compressor, and that's pretty much it.
is that a moose? Is that one of
Sorry?
Moose's? Is that one of Moose's pedals? Is it a rat? Is it?
Moose?
Yeah.
Oh,
Who makes the rat pedal?
I actually
Like
don't fucking know.
Pro, right?
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
No, there's a guy in Dublin, Moose. He does pedals as well. I don't know. Would you have heard of him, Marcelo? He's very good with pedals.
maybe.
No?
I'm not sure. But the Rat is quite famous also for guitars. Maybe you also
Yeah,
knew
so
because
it's
of this.
usually
Yeah.
more like a guitar distortion.
Ah, okay.
It was very famous in the 80s, I think. Like it
Yeah.
has that typical kind of Rat distortion sound. It's actually on a lot of records.
And what
Anyway,
about
so yeah, that's what I'm
yeah?
using.
What about your live setup, Marcelo? Is it complicated?
I know I'm using a modular processing. I'm playing with a fractal, so I'm
Okay.
just using this now. I had in the past pedal boards, but and they were cool, but it was honestly quite of a nightmare playing live most of the time.
Mm.
Um, Not that they always failed, but when they failed, was very difficult to troubleshoot. And this always became kind of a liability for me when I was going to play live. I was like, something's going to go wrong this night, and I could not enjoy.
Yeah, that's awful, isn't it? Yeah.
It's quite the same as just like playing with one guitar, but I cannot just go and play and just bring one guitar. I have to bring a backup also because I like something might go wrong, and then so I try to make it simple, and I use the modular, and that's also great for recording.
Hmm.
And if you're playing with the right sound engineer, also it's much easier because you don't even need to hook up on an amp. They can just
Yeah.
simply go and put direct and sounds the same as you were playing at home.
And what guitars are you using?
I'm using now an ESP, well, two ESPs even for the backup one, which I love and was one of they did a good marketing sponsoring quite a few guitar players into the past. So I'm using them uh, since I joined Sectile. When I joined
Ah,
Sectile, was motivated me to finally buy an ESP, so I'm using them right now.
okay.
Wireless.
Yeah. So the name then, lads, Ura, where do you get the credit for that, Craig?
No, it's all Marcelo.
What?
It was all Marcelo from the start.
Yeah,
The
but
mastermind. Like, let's
not
just call
from
him
the start.
mastermind.
Was
Well,
not
I mean,
from
it
the
was your
start.
project. Your project. You started the project off anyway.
Yeah, by
Even credit, a
coincidence.
Brazilian man getting credit for an Irish name. Like, fucking hell, this is brilliant. You couldn't make it up.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful place in Ireland, so Ireland gets the credit for that. Yeah.
Even though it's in Kerry, okay.
Yeah.
Well, at
Yeah.
least you got that right. Go on,
Yeah.
Marcelo. It's what is it? It's a stone circle in Curry, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
It was is on that place on that peninsula that I simply love, like Iberra. I am not
Okay.
sure if I say
Beautiful part of
correctly.
the world. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
it's beautiful. Well, simply beautiful, and I got to know that at that area during COVID times, and
Oh,
were
okay.
also very, very personal times also in my life and everything.
Hmm.
And I just like that place, I like many other places there, but that place stuck with me. I don't know if you saw pictures or if you
I
were
did, yeah.
there.
It's a beautiful, beautiful spot, yeah.
It's very beautiful. So beautiful
Mm.
stone circle and the lake, huge lake, and the mountains that are almost like walls. Anyway, it stuck with me, and then time passed, and I had the idea for the band, and I just happened to choose that name for just labeling the playlist of songs.
Okay.
Yeah. The
And when we
demos,
met,
and then
yeah, the band proposal was always that, like, I will speed up, I will ramp up things with these songs, but the goal was always let's find the folks and set up the band, get to know all of the influences, and then we'll be able like to direct the sound for that. You know, as Seb was saying, some of the songs sound quite modern, which is true, and they don't match like all of our influences. So we find our own path. And the
Yes.
name, we took a while for choosing the name, right?
yeah, it took a
Yeah,
little while.
some names with being thrown around, and
Yeah.
we did some brainstorming there, but I don't know, for some reason we
Yeah,
settled
Uragh
on-
was always there, and in the end,
But I think Marcelo, you said you wanted a kind of an Irish name as well.
yeah,
for
to
the band,
celebrate
so-
also, right? We are here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and it's you've a reference point not only to the name, but you've a
Exactly,
reference
yeah.
point to the stunning area of Kerry. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Right, you have released a single. It's been out since when, lads? Is it July?
June 16th.
Is it
June, I
June?
think. Yeah.
Okay. So you went up to Josh for that
Yep.
single, and that was it, was it? And then you just said, "Listen, we could be back later on in the year."
Yeah, we didn't know what song we wanted to do initially. Decimate is probably probably is our easiest song to play. Honestly, it probably is. And compared to some of our songs that we're doing now, it's way easier. And again, it was the first time we've ever recorded anything, everyone individually, well, together, not only as a band, collective, as a band, as Uragh, but we've never gone to a studio before, so we didn't know what to expect. And we kind of went up there, went into the studio, set up drums straight away, get tracking. We just laid it down, just bang, 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 and it felt pretty natural in a way, I'd say.
Yeah. In a
That's
day.
great.
I mean, we drove up to Belfast in the morning and recorded the song
Back in
and
the
left.
evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
You did it
yeah.
all in?
That was one day.
Yeah.
Decimate was all one day.
Wow, man, that's great. That is great to
So,
hear.
yeah,
like.
it was definitely cool. Like, it's definitely,
And that was,
it's
and of course, that was your first time meeting Josh in person. Obviously, there was emails going back and forth, and wow. So,
Yeah.
and have you done any work on the EP with Josh since Decimate? No.
So, well, fuck it, we might as well talk about it now. So we went up to Belfast at the start of August, and our plan was to record. We went up for 4 days up to
Okay.
Josh, and our plan was to record 3 songs in 4 days. We end up doing 4 songs in 4 days,
Class.
and we're not gonna do an EP. We're gonna be doing an album.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, we have the
I
songs.
suppose when you're looking at the length of the songs as well, Craig.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
I think for the album is about what we're looking at, what, 50 minutes or so, Marcelo?
60. More like 60.
60. Fuck.
In these 4 songs, I guess we recorded over 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those 4
those-
songs, yeah.
And we're looking to
And-
record 3 more proper songs, and then some interludes and intros and outros and skits or whatnot. So
Yeah.
I think all in all it will be 60-ish minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm going to get you back on the show for a track by track with that, lads. Definitely.
Oh,
So,
cool. Yeah.
okay,
Ooh,
so
cool.
we'll give a listen to the current single anyway. This is Decimate.
Right.
I couldn't play it all, obviously, so this is a section that I really love, and I think it kind of
It's the soft section, isn't it?
encapsulates a lot of what you're about. Okay.
New life to this earth, if it takes 100,000 men, wisdom reigns upon forgotten. Brilliant, step forward, go
what I love about ye, especially seeing ye live on YouTube in inverted commas, is again the heaviness, the contrast, the light, the darkness, and the emotional value you bring as a band. I think that's very unique, that fans can actually attach themselves to a band that can bring such great emotion while still under disguise of the heaviness, you know. So I mean, that's down to all of you, which is really good, you know.
We do, in fairness, we do practice a lot on our live presence, stage presence as well. As in, like, oh, we could stop a song at this part and then bring it back like 2 seconds later. We like though we like
figure that out, yeah.
Yeah, we like doing this live because it makes it interesting. It's like, oh, what was that? You know, it makes for interesting listening or seeing. Of course
it does, yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about Metal to the Masses. You had a fantastic run right through. Then if you want to take it. Who wants to talk about it?
Yeah, go.
Yeah,
go ahead.
As I said before, the first round of Metal to the Masses was our first gig ever, and it was the first time we put ourselves out there, and we were really shitting it, really, because we had no idea like how people were going to perceive this, you know. Are people going to just fucking hate it or love it? We had just no idea. And also, yeah, like especially myself, I hadn't played on a stage in so long, so it was really, really exciting. But there was such a good buzz in Fibbers and on that day, and I had some people over from Germany, and I don't know, it was such a good, I don't know, there was such a good vibe. So we just went on the stage and did it, and I think we were all, I don't know, absolutely, I don't know,
we're just flabbergasted.
I don't think no one expected to proceed to the next round, right? Nobody.
No. Fuck.
For real, like we really weren't that confident at all. So we were just, I don't know, just the pure joy. It was.
The thing is, I think we definitely flew under the radar. Nobody knew who we were when we went into that first gig. Nobody knew who we were. Didn't know what to expect, and laid it down.
That's a good thing, Craig.
Exactly. What don't you think is next year we're going to be marked men? That's the only bad thing about it.
Yeah, well, obviously that's the same, right?
Hey, and that's a sign of the progress you've made, man.
Exactly. But there's one thing I'll always remember from that first gig was Oren, who organizes the Metal to the Masses. He came up on the stage and grabbed the mic from me, like he does with all bands at the end of their set, and announces who we were and obviously voting and stuff like that. But before he grabbed the mic off me, he looked at me and goes, "Holy shit, well done."
Yeah, so I remember that.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah. So it was a good sign, man.
When we decided to play there, we always knew that Metal to the Masses is a great platform. So even though we're not like thinking about going to the next phase, you know, this would be great to play and have people around. And yeah.
Marcelo, was there much discussion in relation to the songs? You had like, I mean, you had probably how many songs can you remember that were in the, we'll say, ready to go stage for that initial?
Oh, we had 4 or 5.
We played all the songs we knew, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay. So you didn't leave anything.
I know we had more beyond and stuff.
We had more.
We had 5. I think we had 5 or 6. But we only played 3 because I know Decimate is just over 6 minutes. Then we played Medea Mott, which is just over 10 minutes, and then we played Capsize, which is like 9 minutes. So
yeah,
wow. And did you stick with them 3 songs right through the rest of it?
Say again?
Did you stick with those 3 songs right through to the final?
So the first and second round we played those 3 songs.
Okay.
In the final we played a new song. The first time playing it live, which is a bit of Monarch. It's
song.
Crazy. It's great crazy. Song. And
great song. See, I do my work. I do my research.
We were like 90% ready to play the song, and again, a shout out to Jason on the kit. It's so hard for him. And the 2, I think he took about he learned that in like 10 days. 10 to 14 days, 10 days to 2 weeks. He learned
Jason
the whole
is
thing.
a machine.
Yeah.
I don't know how Jason does that. he learns those things, and he comes with sections, and it's kind of, how do you do that?
Yeah, it's
And to be honest, like, we only nailed the song for the first time in rehearsals, just the last rehearsals before the show.
When was
We
that?
were all of us were skeptical whether we could pull it off, and like,
Fuck.
we just had a full playthrough without any flaws.
Was this maybe a week
rehearsal.
before the final, or
Yeah, the same week, the same
What?
fucking week.
Jesus,
Yeah,
you
we just
gambled
fucking
on
went for it.
that? Fuck,
Yeah, we
fair play
gambled
to you.
on that. We gambled. We did gamble on it in a way. Like, like looking back on it, we're like, dude, that was kind of crazy, right?
But it was fun.
It's cool.
It was good fun. Yeah.
Oh,
It was good fun,
yeah.
but and we didn't play it perfectly either.
No,
there
I think
were
we all
some
made
to
it.
judge
mistakes here
that?
and there.
Nobody judges that, man. You're
Yeah,
the
true.
people that can spot the
But
mistakes
your
there.
own, yeah,
the punter
exactly.
won't.
But you're your own worst critic in a way, you know.
Of course, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the main thing about it. But fuck it. It doesn't matter now. Just means we get to play Metal Masses next year and we go for it again.
Yeah. So it was a fantastic
Yeah.
experience. Did you use the few, how many gigs did you play in that? Was it 3 gigs? Did it get to the final or
3,
4? Can you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's
3
true.
with the
3.
final.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Levain won it. Would you say deservedly so? Yeah.
I think yes, because I've said this to the lads already.
The
We were the only
competition
band.
final. The final was
It was
crazy,
really big,
but
yeah, of course.
fucking, oh man,
It was nuts. It was
crazy.
nuts. Like, everyone was so good,
was a good night.
and we played. I think we played a really good gig. I went off the stage. I think we all went off the stage, and people came up to us, and like,
yeah, we got a lot.
and
hell of a
I
lot
thought,
of
okay,
compliments.
we delivered here. That was great.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, and Levain came on right after.
Right
After, and I saw 2 songs, and I was like, fuck. Okay, that wow. I knew, okay, they're probably gonna win this, because they were just fucking tight as hell that evening. And yeah.
And there was, is it Nebulous was there as well?
Nebularis.
Yes, they were there.
Nebularis.
Serious musicians in that band.
Oh
Very
yeah, Jesus,
progressive
yeah.
band,
Oh yeah.
Crazy musicianship there.
Did you use the situation to network with any other bands, or did you win? You definitely won over new fans, certainly, which is another great thing to see.
Yeah, Marcelo was messaging a lot of people, bands, and getting contact.
No,
with
one of
them
us were doing
making
this, right?
making friends in a way. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I think we all the bands were really. I mean, and that's the great thing as well. The
Everyone was so
atmosphere
nice.
amongst the bands. There was real camaraderie, between the
Isn't
bands.
it fucking brilliant, Seb? That's something that I'm really proud of in the whole Irish metal scene. That there's everybody's there to fucking help you. There's no ruthlessness.
Indeed.
There's no backstabbing as such.
Indeed.
But like.
Indeed.
If you fucking earn your spot, you deserve it, and the other bands that are there will fucking back you to the last. It's a great scene that
That's
we're in.
exactly right. Yeah, I mean, I can't really judge the German scene, for example, because I wasn't really part of it in the past years. But from what I hear, I think the Irish scene is, as far as I experienced it so far, it's lovely. Really, there's such a great vibe amongst everybody. People are super helpful towards each other.
Yes.
Even in the run up to Metal to the Metal, when it comes to just trading information, hey, where do you get your merch done? Where how do you do this? Where did you
There's
record?
that as well. Yeah.
Everyone is super nice and approachable, and
there's no gatekeepers.
For sure, the Irish scene is And in a way, like Metal to the Masses was my introduction to the Irish metal scene last year in 2022.
I suppose it would have been, yeah.
Like, I went with Marcelo in 2022. We went to the final. We saw the amazing For North, for example, and Tombs and all these amazing bands. And at that time, both of us, we never thought we'd be on stage the next year, and like playing the final, It's fucking insane. But it's a great scene. The Irish metal scene is amazing and highly underrepresented in Irish mainstream media, maybe.
Oh, well, there's that issue that's going on the whole time, but the fact that we're just an island is a problem as well,
Yeah.
Everything is a hassle trying to get over to the UK. But look, they're problems that he'll be encountering in 2024, hopefully, with the way you're
Hopefully.
going anyway. But I mean, when you see Levain, like they came out this year as well. Like, I mean, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, I only saw him last Friday night with Worn Out and Burner and New Mud in Cork. What a tour that was. It was just incredible. Like, and people are hungry for that type of music.
Exactly.
You
And
know?
they supported Chelsea Grin there the other they support Chelsea Grin when about 3-4 weeks ago. And then they're supporting who are they supporting with God Alone soon enough as well?
Oh, I saw
I
that.
can't remember.
Fuck it.
It's Whores, isn't it?
Whores.
Horse,
Horse,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're supporting him as
Whores.
well. That's amazing. And fair play to them. And they deserve it as well.
Yeah,
They
well,
really
they
do.
do. Yeah, there's no denying
Proud of
it.
these lads, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's what they bring live. I mean,
Exactly, yeah.
like you can write the greatest fucking album ever, but like if you turn up on a stage and you're shit, people will
Exactly,
will lose interest on you very fast. Like,
You need to be able to play what you make
yes,
in a way.
exactly. And that's something he can develop now in the next few months, lads. Where are you with gigs wise? Is there anything you can talk about at the moment?
We have a gig. We're playing in Dundalk. We're supporting Survivalist in
fucking
Dundalk.
hell, class. Great band.
And
Shout
no,
out
we
to the
support them
lads.
in Fibbers there in May. And they're the first time we met them, I've listened to them a while back, and I went fucking crazy at the gig when they were playing. They're super good.
Yeah.
And big shout out to them for having us to play with them in
And the
Dundalk.
new single,
it'll be our,
like the new single's fucking amazing.
Greater Negative. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
And it'll be our first time playing outside of Dublin, as well. So maybe a little experience. Be cool.
Oh, definitely.
We'll get we'll get down to Cork with you. Don't worry.
Yeah,
We'll get down there.
Yeah.
We'll sort you out.
Zeppelins, right? That's what happens.
We'll have you on the bill soon enough, lads. There's no doubt about that. So for the rest of the year, it's basically concentrating on getting this album out.
Yeah.
For maybe an early 2024 release, think, lads.
Hopefully enough.
Hopefully enough. Yeah.
Hopefully towards the end of the first quarter, maybe at the start of the second quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're tying some knots now. We're playing more live. We've had the Marathon Masters, but also we had like quite a few gigs in the same time. Yeah. And now we decided to just like cherry pick some of the gigs so we can focus, as you said, on the album, do some brainstorm of parts that we still have. We are quite there, but that's quite a lot. There is quite a lot of work involved there to get it right, and we want to definitely get this right. And
well, you've made the first correct step anyway, and having Josh there at the helm. That's a huge.
And we're very happy with Josh also. We know since we just recorded like Decimate, we knew let's get back there and let's do this next step.
Yeah.
So is Capsize and Monarch, are they contenders for the album?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't worry about that.
Excellent stuff. Happy man.
They're
Glad to hear
definitely.
that.
Gotta
So
keep
that's
you
it,
nice and
lads. Anything else there you want to add before we shut up?
I think I've talked enough as it is.
Jesus, the only time I caught you out, huh? You should have been prepared for this. Social media wise, you're very active on social media. Is there merch on the way? We'll talk about merch.
Oh, yeah.
What ideas have you got for that?
We have 2 designs where I was only talking to Marcelo today. Maybe we might get a third design as well. And we'll sort that out hopefully soon enough. We're gonna be looking into an album cover as well, album cover art as well, just to get that ready. Once we have all that ready, then we can concentrate more on the music, creating it, recording it, and getting it out there as quick as we can.
You're not going AI
as best
for
as
art.
it.
Please don't go AI for art.
Oh no!
Thank you.
So far, our single, like the Decimate cover art, and of our upcoming single, which I'm not gonna say which song.
Yeah,
we're not gonna say it. The artwork is done by Jason's brother.
Okay.
What's his name?
Josh, isn't it?
Josh? Is he also Josh?
What's his name?
No.
And what's he called?
But no, on Instagram it's like Little Hodgy something.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Little
yeah,
Hodgy,
yeah.
little
So,
Hodgy art, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Little
Yeah,
Hodgy
no,
art,
he-
exactly.
He
Shout
does.
out to
Yeah, shout out to him because he is a talented artist. He has his own kind of style of doing the way he draws. It's something a little different that you
Which
wouldn't
is
normally
what you
see.
want.
So
Yeah.
exactly, it's
Yeah.
cool. It's really cool, and we
Our
really
Yeah.
next
appreciate
merch
it.
will feature one of his.
Oh, it's
You
gorgeous.
definitely
Yeah,
you'll have this
Super
for
nice.
one of your next podcasts also.
What's
So you'll
this,
be able
Marcelo?
to-
I missed that. Sorry.
Yeah. So our next merch will feature one of his arts, and you are going to have one of these shirts also for.
Oh, yeah,
featuring.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We expect
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I'm just an old clothes rack at this stage, but look, the Levain suits me anyway at the moment, and
I do have this one also. I do have the same one.
yeah. Again, simple but effective. Black should look.
Exactly. With the fine failure in the back, right?
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's
So
really
look,
good.
lads,
Yeah.
thanks a million for coming on the show. Shout out to Jason for not making it, Mr. Man United himself. But anyway, I'll have a beer with him sometime or other, and I'll give him
Definitely,
my
yeah.
perspective. Seb, Marcelo, and Craig, thanks a million.
Pleasure.
Thank you,
Thank you
man.
very much.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
having us.
Yeah, and as I said, lads, you're fucking going in the right direction. I love everything that you're doing at the moment. You've got a fantastic sound. Develop it. Josh is at the helm, so you know that's another positive. And best of luck in the next few months, and hopefully we'll see you down in Cork, if not this year, early next year. Okay.
Definitely.
Sure.
Cheers.
Hopefully.
Cheers.
Thank
And
you
as I
very
always-
much.
And as I always
Cheers.
end it, support your local metal scene.
Of course.